If there was a forest so dark that even sunlight struggled to survive inside it, a place where travelers vanished without explanation, where ancient legend when people never walk alone, where a story of witches, monsters, and lost souls have survived for more than 1,000 years. Welcome to Black Forest, hidden in northwest Germany. This vast woodland known as stretches across mountain and valley like a living shadow. From above, it appears beautiful, peaceful, and magical, but step beneath the tree and everything changed. The first thing visitors notice is the silence. Tall pine and fir tree grow so densely that they block much of the sky. Sunlight filters through only thin, fading beam. Sounds become muffled, direction blurred. Within minutes, a familiar landmark disappear behind endless wall of dark trunk. And even today, experienced hiker admits they feel watched here. Centuries ago, Roman soldiers traveling through the region recorded terrifying encounter in what they describe as a forest without aim. Many refuse to march deeper, believing the land itself resists human presence. To them, it's not simply wilderness; it was a place untouched by civilization. Local folklore soon filled the darkness with story. Villagers spoke of shadow figure moving between trees. Hunter report hearing footsteps following them when no one was there. Traveler claimed strange light appeared at night, guiding them off the path and into dangerous terrain. Some never returned. The Black Forest became birthplace of European darkest fairy tale story later collected by the brother Grimm. Tales like Hansel and Gretel and Little Red Riding Hood were inspired by fear people felt when entering this wood, because in the past, forest was not a place of adventure, it was a place of survival. Bandits hid among the trees, wolves hunted silently in the night, thick fog rose across mountain peaks without warning. A single wrong turn could mean freezing temperature, starvation, or disappearance. And yet, despite centuries of fear, people continue to enter. While some search for resources, others chase legends. A few believe the forest held secret older than its story itself, hidden, rooted, forgotten ritual and ancient folk tied to the land. Even today, modern visitors report strange sensations, sudden unease, distorted sound, or the overwhelming feeling of being guided or followed, or it's only imaginations. All the Black Forest carry memories of everything that has happened within the shadow. Tonight we step beyond the safety of chill and into one of the most mysterious forests on earth. Because when you enter the Black Forest, you may discover that the greatest grandeur is not getting lost in a tree, but realizing the forest may already know you were there. The Black Forest is not a place of legend. It's not the most distinctive natural landscape in Europe. Located in southwest corner of Germany, the region stretches along eastern side of Rhine Valley near the border of France and Switzerland. From the air, the forest appears a massive dark green expanding, spreading across mountain valley and hidden village, covering an area of approximately 600 square kilometers. But number alone cannot capture what makes this forest unique. Unlike flat woodland found in many parts of the world, the Black Forest rises dramatically into a series of rolling mountains and deep ravines. The terrain was shaped millions of years ago by the tectonic uplift and erosion, forming steep slopes, narrow gorges, or elevated plateaux. The highest peak reached nearly 1,500 above the sea level. From the summit, wave of dark forest stretched toward the horizon, interrupted by only mist-covered valley and scattered lake. Glacial activity during the Ice Age carved a circular basin that was later filled with water, creating cold mountain lake hidden between ridges. Steam born in these mountains eventually feed major European rivers, including tributary connected to legendary Rhine River. The landscape constantly changed. Dense evergreen slope transition into an open meadow, rocky cliff overlooked Platte Valley, and narrow trail disappear into shadowy corridors of trees. For travelers unfamiliar with the terrain, navigation can quickly become difficult. Lower region enjoy mild summer and cold winter. but higher elevation can become harsh and unpredictable. Snow frequently blankets the mountain for months, transforming the forest into a silent white wilderness. Fog is one of the most defining features of the region. Warm air rising from valley meets colder mountain temperature, creating thick layers of mist that roll through the forest without warning. Visibility can drop dramatically within minutes, turning familiar path into confusing labyrinth. The constant interaction between light, shadow, and fog contribute to forest hunting atmosphere. Even during daylight, part of the forest remain dim, as towering swung and fir grow densely so that sunlight struggle to reach the ground. It is the darkness that gave the forest its name. Early visitors described the woodland as a black, not because of color, because of how little light penetrates its interior. The Black Forest hosts one of Europe's richest ecosystems. Massive trees dominate the landscape, some standing for centuries. Most blanket fallen, flocks, fungi thrive in damp soil. Hidden clearings support rare alpine plant, wildlife range from deer, foxes to elusive wildcat and birds adapted to deep woodland. The forest acts as a natural climate regulator, capturing most moisture and supporting biodiversity across southern Germany. But its environment also creates psychological effect. Dense tree spacing during south travel, producing an unusual climate. Trees curve unpredictably around hill and valley, limited long-distance visibility. Without open horizons, a human orientation became challenged, a factor that historically contributed to countless stories of travelers losing their way. Many forests are large, many are beautiful, but few combine geography, climate, and historical aspect forest. For centuries, it stood as one of the Europe's last great wilderness areas, celebrating community and isolating village. Darkness in difficult terrains and unpredictable weather made travel dangerous long before modern roads existed. These conditions shaped human imagination. The forest became the setting for cautionary tales passed from generation to generation, story warning children about wandering too far, trusting change or entering unknown place alone. Unlike forests known for purely ecological importance, the forest exists equally in natural and methodology. Its physical environment creates perfect stage for legend to grow. Here, the landscape and storytelling merge. And as you move deeper into its mountain and shadow, it's become clear that why the forest has fascinated humanity for centuries. Because the Black Forest is not simply a location on a map, it's a world where nature feels older, darker, and farther more mysterious than modern worlds surrounding it. Long before fairy tale, haunted legend, or mysterious terrain shaped their reputation, the Black Forest began as a produce of immense geological fault that transformed the heart of Europe. The region known today as located in modern Germany formed millions of years ago during the creation of Upper Rhine Rift, where a powerful tectonic movement caused the Earth's crust to crack and sink, creating long depression now occupied by the Rhine Valley, while surrounding land rose upward from mountain range. Black forests emerged as one of the most uplifted blocks of ancient rock, granites, and some of the oldest rock in Europe pushed through the fall surface, forming rugged mountains and steep slopes over countless ages. While water ice carved deep valleys through the terrain during the Ice Age, glaciers shaped high-altitude basins that later become lake waterfall and a dramatic ridge line still visible today. As glacier retreat, dense vegetation slowly reclaimed the landscape. Conifers spread across the mountain, creating vast woodland ecosystem that remain largely untouched for thousands of years. Thick tree cover darkened the ground below, forming the shadow environment that would later define the forest's identity. Evidence such as humans entered the region as early as prehistoric times. Stone Age hunters gathered follow migrating animals through the valley, using the forest for shelter and resource. However, permanent settlement remained rare deep inside the woodland due to harsh terrain and limited sunlight. The early known civilization to significantly interact with the region was the Celtic culture, which dominated Central Europe before Roman expansion. Celtic tribes viewed forests as sacred landscape filled with spiritual energy. Groves were often used for ritual seasonal ceremony or for offering to natural gods. To the south, forest was a living entity, place where human and supernatural world intersect. When the Roman Empire advanced into the region during the 1st century, Serbia encountered the vast woodland barrier stretching across southwestern Romania, who Romanian history described Germanic forests as dark, intimidating forests inhabited by fierce, dry, and unpredictable danger. The Romanian referred to the dense wilderness as Silva Nigra, the Black Forest, rather than fully conquering its interior. Roman forces established road and military outposts along safe routes, avoiding the deepest sections of woodland that were previously possible. The forest served as the protection of obstacles, sealing local childhood and while limiting Roman control. After the decline of Roman authority, Germanic tribes expanded through the region. Community formed along the river, enclaving, but large portions of forest remain wild mystery. Many early myths involving forest spiritual, wandering hunter, and supernatural being likely originated during this period. The dense woodland shaped their daily life. Travelers moved cautiously along narrow paths, merchandise avoid traveling after dark, and villagers relied on shared knowledge and navigate safely. In a world without modern map and lighting, entering a forest means entering uncertainty. Winter was so long and severe. Wolf, ram, fili, bandits used hidden trails to ambush travelers. The entire caravan sometimes disappear while crossing remote mountain routes. This danger influenced European storytelling tradition. The forest became a symbol of moral testing, a place where heroes faced fear, temptation, and survival challenges. Centuries later, this theme inspired the famous collection The Brother Grimm, whose fairy tale reflected genuine medieval anxiety about wandering into dark woodland alone. Stories like Hansel and Gretel or Little Red Hood was not invented fantasy. They were echo of real historical fear shaped by life around forests, like the Black Forest. By the 18th and 19th century, technological advancement transformed the region. Logging industry expanded, rail cut through mountains and improved road connected once isolated community. Yet human development, large area of Black Forest remained remarkably reserved. Its rugged terrain resisted complete industrialization, allowing science ancient woodland ecosystem to survive into modern era. During periods of European conflict, including the World War, the forest's remote geographical against proved significant. Hidden valley and mountain provide strategic concealment and natural defense. Yet even as modern civilization advanced, the forest never lost its aura mystery. The history of Black Forest is not defined by a single event, but by continuous interaction between natural and humanity. Geological uphill recreated the mountain, ancient culture infused the land with spiritual meaning, medieval ranger turned the forest into symbol of fear and transformations, and century of storytelling transformed real landscape into legendary one. Because the Black Forest is more than a forest, it's a living archive where geology, civilization, and myths grew together beneath the same dark canopy, and where history still lingers quietly among the trees. Long before tourists arrived with cameras and hiking maps, Black Forest was feared as one of the most European, most dangerous and mysterious wildlife. Hidden within the mountain, in more than a generation of villagers believed the forest was alive, watching, listening, and sometimes luring people into the depths. For centuries, survival depends on respecting the forest's unseen brew. One of the oldest local myths warned of traveler who entered the forest confidently but never returned. Medieval trade route passed through narrow mountain paths surrounded by dense trees. Thick fogs could appear without warning, swallowing sound and visibility within minutes. Such stories serve as a warning. The schools of forest could deceive who underestimate it. Over time, these still evolve into darker folklore, suggesting for forest possess a will of its own. Among the most famous legends is that the most woman, a mysterious forest spirit, is said to protect the nature from human greed. The most women represent an ancient cultural belief. Forest was sacred, play deserving respect rather than dominance. Another terrifying figure associated with the Black Forest is the White Huntsman, a supernatural rider leading the ghostly hunting party through the night sky. Witnesses claim to hear thunderous hoof, barking dog, and horn echoing through the mountain during storm. According to legend, anyone who entered the White Hunt risks being swept away into spiritual world. This myth dates back to Germanic pagan traditions, where forests symbolize boundary between life. Even today, sudden while rushing through the tall pine can create a noise resembling distant horn or voice. During the Middle Age, fear of witchcraft spreading through Europe, this isolated valley of Black Forest became linked to secret gathering and forbidden ritual. Remote clearings were rumored to host midnight ceremony beneath moonlight. Villagers believed witches gather in hidden locations to summon spirits or communicate with dark forces, whether based on superstition or fear or outsider. This story strengthened the forest's reputation as the place where normal would no longer apply. Certain mountain and rocky crops were avoided after sunset, believing to be cursed ground where supernatural energy linger. Folklore also described the mysterious creature roaming the forest. One modern explanation points to wildlife behavior or psychological fear. This story reflects a genuine danger placed by medieval community living along vast wilderness in a town without artificial light. The forest at night truly felt endless. The Black Forest deeply influenced European storytelling traditions. Forests became symbol of transformation, place where character confront danger, temptations, and personal growth. This cultural theme later appeared in the famous fairy tale collected by the Brother Grimm, whose story captured the emotional reality of life near the dark forest. In this tale, entering the wood meant leaving safely behind. Heroes were tested, innocent faced danger, and survival depends on wisdom and courage. What makes the Black Forest unique is and how the legend continues to survive even in modern times. Despite scientific understanding and mapping trail, visitors still describe unsettling feeling beneath the tree, a sense that the forest holds memory older than civilization itself. Perhaps the myths were never meant to describe monsters spiritual literally. Perhaps they were humanity's ways of explaining something deeper, the fear of unknown. Because the forest, the dark is not physical, it's a psychological. It was a living mystery that no one refused to fully reveal its secret. For centuries, the Black Forest had inspired legends, but beyond folklore, real ancient and unexplained experience have continued to fuel its mysterious reputation. Deep within the forest located in southeast Germany, countless traveler, hunter, hiker have reported strange events that challenge simple explanation. Historically, the Black Forest was one of Europeans' most dangerous travel routes. Before modern roads exist, merchants crossing the mountain faced thick fog, confusing terrain, unpredictable weather. Historical accounts from medieval records describe caravans that vanished while attempting to cross forest space. Some group later discovered far from their intent route and unable to explain how they became lost. Others were never found at all. While bandits and wildlife likely contribute to many disappearances, local believe something deeper was at work. Stories spread of travelers hearing voice calling from the tree and following light that lead them away from the fairy trail. Even today, search and rescue team occasionally respond to missing hikers caused by sudden disorientations. Experienced hikers have admitted that the forest and canopy and repeating landscape make navigation surprisingly difficult, especially when visibility drops. Modern visitors frequently describe strange psychological experience inside the forest. One common testimony of sound distortions Cups of the forest absorb and redirect raw noise. Distant sound can appear unusually close within nearby movement can seem completely silent. This effect causes hiker to misjudge distance and directions, sometimes leading them deeper into remote area unintentionally. Some witnesses describe sudden mood change, unexplained anxiety, dizziness, and the urge to leave certain motion location immediately. Scientists often attribute this reaction to isolation, stress, combined with natural condition. But for many visitors, the experience feels deeply personal and unsettling. Among the most persistent mysteries are reports of unexplained life for generation version of nearby villages. This explained glowing orb moving slightly between trees at night. This tree reported hover above trail fade in and out or disappear instantly when approached. Similar phenomena appear in European folk as spotlight or will of the webs traditionally believed to misleading traveler. Some researchers suggest natural explanations such as blue bioluminescent organism, atmospheric reflections, or gases released from decaying vegetation. Eyewitness descriptions remain remarkably consistent across country. Adding to the mystery are occasional reports of sudden temperature drop localized to small area of forest. Visitors stepping into a certain clearing claim the air become noticeably cooler for no obvious reasons. The lesser-known phenomena reported by hikers involve altered perception of time. Nightfall intensifies this effect. With the artificial light, darkness inside the forest became nearly absolute. Shadow blend together, depth perception weakened, and even experienced outdoor men admit orientation became extremely challenging. Most unexplained events in the forest, but likely have logical explanation: difficult terrain, dense vegetation, atmospheric condition, and psychological response to isolation. Just fact alone does not erase the mystery. The forest combinations of history, geography, and human imagination create an environment where ordinary experience feels extraordinary, unexplained sound, unexplained lights or movement of its orientation add a further story to century of whisper count. For generations, the Black Forest has been surrounded by mystery, folklore, and story unexplained events. But beyond legend and superstition, scientists have spent decades studying the natural fact that may explain why the landscape feels so unusual. Hidden within square in the South Forest researching had discovered that many of the forest's most direct quality arise from the entire natural yet remarkable environmental condition. The first scientific explanation lies in the forest structure itself. The Black Forest was dominated by dense trunk and fir tree planted closely together over centuries of natural growth and managed forestry. Their tall, narrow crown form a nearly continuous canopy that block a large percentage of sunlight from reaching the ground. This reduced light create low visual contrast, here making human eye more work harder to distinguish shape and movement. In such environment, the brain often feels gap in perception, causing shadow to appear as moving feature or distant objects to seem closer than they are. What early travelers interpret as supernatural present may simply have been psychological. Darkness interacting with human survival instinct. Another fascinating phenomenon involves sound behavior. Dense forest absorb and scatter sound way differently than open landscape. Most cover ground, thick tree trunk, and uneven terrain dampen certain frequency while reflecting other. As a result, footsteps, animal movement, or while may appear to come from unexpected direction. Scientists often call acoustic showering. A sound produced farther away may suddenly seem nearby, while some people walk behind you might become completely silent. This unusual sound environment explains why so many visitors report hearing visible, flower, or discernible noise. Some hikers have reported temporary compact confusions inside the forest, while not supernatural localized magnetic variation caused by mineral rock. The rich rock formation beneath the mountain can slightly influence navigation too, combined with comparative scenery similar to slope or valley. Even experienced explorer can lose orientation quickly. Research showed that humans naturally walk in subtle cycle when derived from clear visual landmarks in the dense forest. The density increased dramatically, helping explain historical case of travelers become loose despite believing they were moving in a straight line. The Black Forest climate produces frequent fog due to moisture rising from valley and cooling at higher elevations. When sunlight or moonlight interact with mist, particular unusual visual effect can occur. Beyond psychological and environmental effects, the Black Forest is also an ecological treasure. Researchers have documented diverse plant and animal species adapted specifically to deep woodland environment where moss, fungi, and insects thrive in cool, humid microclimate beneath the canopy. The forest also supports elusive wildlife such as European white-cat owl and specialized bird species that depend on mature woodland habitat. Outgrow area contain trees over 300 years, forming complex ecosystem where fallen log nurture new generation while a continuous cycle of decay and renewal. This discovery revealed that what once inspired fear actually represent remarkable biological balance. Some science explain much of what people experience in Black Forest: darkness, effects, perceptions, acoustic distortion sound, and terrain confused navigation. Atmospheric conditions create visual illusion. That the understanding this mechanism does not completely erase the feeling many people describe, but because even when science provides answer, the emotional experience remains powerful. Sitting beneath ancient tree, surrounded by science older than would recorded history, humans confront something profound, not supernatural fault, but realize on how small we are within the natural vast design. And perhaps that is the Black Forest's greatest mystery. Is not defy science, but then reveals just how extraordinary the natural world is truly. And many who enter the forest throughout history do not face supernatural force, they face the nature itself. Today, Black Forest is considered relatively safe compared to wilderness areas elsewhere in the world. However, historically, wildlife posed serious threat. For centuries, wolves roamed freely through this mountain. Pack, hunt deer and livestock, and occasionally approach human settlement during harsh winter. Medieval records describe travel attack while crossing isolated paths at night. Although wolves disappeared from the regions for many decades, their historical presence shaped local fear and folklore. Large predators symbolize the unknown danger hidden within the dense wood. Wild boar remain one of the most unpredictable animals still living in the forest. This powerful animal can weigh over 100 kilograms that may charge aggressive if surprised or protecting young offspring. Even smaller wildlife present risks. Ticks carrying limb disease thrive in humid woodland environments, while venomous adder, European only natural venomous snake, occasionally inhabits sun forest. Clearing danger in Black Forest rarely announces loudly it was quiet. One of the greatest threat has always been terrace. The Black Forest is mountain region filled with steep slopes, narrow and dense vegetation, so can change rapidly from wide scenic paths to barely visible routes covered in root, loose stone, slippery moss, heavy tree cover block, long distance visibility, making orientation difficult. Hill valley repeated visually, creating disorienting landscape while hikers may believe they are moving forward while unknowingly circling the same area. Weather in the Black Forest change quickly, especially at higher elevations. dense fog can roll across mountain ridge within minutes, reducing visibility to only a few meters. Sudden rainstorms transform terrain into mud and increase risk of fall during winter. Snow and ice high dangerously create terrain feature beneath this deceptive peaceful surface. Hypothermia has historically been one of the greatest killer in the forest. Even mild temperature became dangerous when combined with rain, wind, and fatigue. Another overlooked hazard is felling timber. Strong wind occasionally bring down large trees and branches without warning in dense woodland. This event can occur silently until the final movement. Nature here does not need to be dramatic to be dangerous, it only needs time and patience. The many history tragedy in the Black Forest resulted not from extreme conditions, but from human error. Travelers often underestimate distance, assuming nearby mountain was easier to cross than they truly were. Others venture into unfamiliar area late in the day and aware of how quickly darkness would fall beneath the dense canopy. Common basics include traveling alone without informed others, ignoring changing weather conditions, leaving market trail to explore shortcuts, overestimating physical endurance, relying solely on instinct rather than navigation too. Even more than hiker occasionally repeat this error. Psychologists note that forests can create a false sense of calm. The quiet beauty encourages exploration, yet the same environment reduces awareness of risks. The forest does not actively threaten visitors, but it demands respect. The deadly reputation of Black Forest was never entirely missed. Its dangers were subtle rather than spectacular. There are no towering predators waiting in ambush or obvious warning signs announcing danger. Instead, risks emerge gradually through fatigue, confusion, weather, and isolation. And perhaps that is why the forest inspires so many cautionary tales without history, because the greatest danger was never a monster hiding in the shadow. It was a moment of travel. For centuries, the Black Forest had drawn explorers, scientists, and wanderers into shadow depth. What appeared today as a peaceful landscape of a village or hiking trail was once a mysterious frontier, a place where map and legend began. Long before modern tourism, the dense wild challenge even the most experienced traveler. One of the earliest recorded explorers connected to the region were Pliny the Elder, the Roman scholar who described vast Germanic forests during the first century. While historians debate whether he personally entered the deepest area of Black Forest, his writings shaped the movement perception of Germany as an untamed and dangerous land. Romance were advancing beyond the Rhine encounter. Risks would so dark and confusing that entire military route has been abandoned. Perhaps the most famous historical expedition linked to German forests was the disastrous Roman campaign led by so this precise ambush occurred in nearby to birch forest. Its lesson echo across the southern Germany, including Black Forest region, Roman region. Learned that dense forest favored local tribes who knew every hidden path. The failure reshaped Roman expansion forever, marking forests like the Black Forest as territory of mystery rather than conquest. During the Middle Age, exploration took different forms. Monks became some of the earliest to settle a religious community, ventured deep into wilderness, searching for isolation and spiritual retreat. Among them was monks from influential Benedict order, whose Israeli remote monastery carved out of dense woodland. The expedition was not driven by conquest, but survival, clearing land, mapping river, and documenting medicine plan. This monks transformed unknown territory into habitable settlement, laying the foundation of many modern Black Forest towns. By the 18th and 19th century, scientific curiosity replaced religious motivation. Naturalists geographers advised to study geology, wildlife, and climate. One important figure was Alexander von Humboldt, whose influence inspired generations of European scientists to examine wilderness systematically. Although humbly himself traveled widely across the globe, his method encouraged detailed survey of region by the Black Forest, turning folklore as deep into subject or scientific investigation. Explorer documented rare species, map mountain evaluation, and record unusual weather pattern. Yet even with growing long, this expedition was not always successful. Early cartographer frequently misjudged distance due to dense tree cover, producing map filled with insecurity. Traveler vanished after underestimating the terrain, leaving behind unfinished journal. Discovered years later, searched by party, the rise of romanticism in the 19th century brought scientific and winter into the forest as explorer of emotion, rather than geography painter, poet sought inspiration. In its midst, filled valley and towering fir trees, some intentionally travel alone, believing solitude within the forest locked inside creativity, while many returned with celebrated folk of art, other face exhaustion, injury, or disorientation caused by sudden storm and poor navigations. Even in modern era exploration continued, speleologists explore hidden cave systems beneath the mountain, while environmental research monitor ancient ecosystems threatened by climate change. Advanced technology, GPS tracking drone, and satellite image has reduced risks. Yet the forest still demand respect for generations. Story about for Black Forest have focused on monster, witches, and supernatural folks hiding beneath this towering tree. Traveler whisper about glowing eyes in the darkness, and spirit wander through the fog. That the most terrifying truth about the Black Forest is far more unsettling. The greatest danger is never something mythical. It's always the forest itself. The Black Forest's reputation for danger comes from a unique combination of geography, psychology, and nature working together in ways humans rarely expect. It's then evergreen canopy block sunlight so effectively that visibility can dramatically even during midday. Before modern and signage exists, explorers could lose their sensation of direction within minutes, unlike local landscape where landmarks guide movement. Forest repeat itself endlessly, the same tree, same shadow, same silence. This phenomenon confused even experienced travelers. Early hikers report walking for hours only to unknowingly circle back to the starting point. Modern researchers call for spatial disorientation and condition worsen when humans panic without clear visual preference. The brain struggles to remain direct direction, leading people fear deeper into unfamiliar terrain instead of towards safely. Another lesson known truth about beneath the Black Forest. The Black Forest sits on complex geological formations shaped by ancient tectonic activity linked to upper Rhine ravines. This geological history creates deep valley, unstoppable slope, and hidden side holes that remain dangerously even today. What appear to be solid ground may conceal loose soil and or sudden group drop formed by erosion over thousands of years, whether at another layer of bricks, moist air trap between mountains produce sudden fog bank that can appear within minutes. Temperature fall quickly after sunset, and heavy rainfall transform peaceful trail into slippery hazard. Historically, many missing person cases were not caused by predator or crime but by exposure. Hikers caught unprepared for rapid environmental change. Perhaps the most disturbing fact is psychological. Science in deep forests affect human perceptions. Studies connected to wilderness psychology show that prolonged isolation heightened anxiety, exaggerate sound, ordinary noise, cracking branches, and animal movement shifting while beginning to threatening. Fear change decision making, pushing individuals to move faster, ignore caution, or abandon logical navigation strategy. In truth, the Black Forest does not hunt people. It does not hide supernatural fog waiting to strike. Its danger comes from something more revealed and more universal: human confidence in environments we believe we understand. The most terrifying truth is simple. The forest is dangerous not because of its evil, but because it's indifferent. Nature does not intend harm, yet it offers no forgiveness to those underestimate its power. As night falls over Black Forest, the last trace of sunlight disappears behind ocean. Dark tree shadows stretch endlessly across the lands, and forest breathes in silence, unshamed, patient, and unchanged by human fear or fascination. For centuries, people have entered this wood searching for something adventure, answer, escape, or proof of legend whispered through generations. Some return with history, a beauty beyond imagination. Others left with different memory, the feeling of being watched, lose direction, or revealing how small the human truly inside something so vast. Perhaps the Black Forest mystery is not hide within it, it's revealed about us. A world filled with technology, maps necessarily answered, and for us remind us that hidden mysteries still exist. They are places where control fed, where instinct replaced logic, and where nature quietly became dominant. The legend of witches' favorite disappearing traveler may never fully explain. Maybe they were born from fear, maybe the real encounter lost the space, or maybe the forest simply refaking an imagination back to who they walked into far so. And as the wind moved through the tree tonight, one question remained answered. A story about Black Forest wanting me to keep us safe, or invitation keep calling us deeper into the unknown. Because somewhere beyond the vast visible trail beneath the whispering branch, the forest still waits silent, internal, or holding secrets that may never choose to share.